All right, welcome everyone to Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Apothecary Diaries, Season 2, Episode 7. When your cousin is trying to kill your kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, she's got a cousin who's seen herself as the superior choice all along. Lady Lee was assets, unfortunately, claim another victim.
You know, the heart wants what it wants.
That's true.
But
yeah.
But Mau, you've been repeatedly now kind of just kicking ass, right? And the Emperor hears about this every once in a while when it's like, oh, my unborn child was saved by this girl again. Interesting.
Yeah, I just keep hearing of this apothecary.
Right. Like, I know that you love to keep your head low and everything, but you might not be able to do that too much longer.
No, Jinchi is having his way. You are definitely getting put into a lot of positions.
Risen through the ranks, yeah.
Yes. This is ascendance of an apothecary worm, you know?
Indeed. Yes.
Yeah. But there's somebody passing along all this info to everybody.
Yep.
And they drew attention to it 2 episodes ago. And they're seeing it drawn attention again, previous episode, with who gave Shin this info here.
Right.
And there's unsolved mysteries before this of people that also somehow got information of how to utilize these things.
And while Suire is one potential explanation for who it could have been,
surely she's not all of them.
Well, and she's not around here anymore.
Well,
so,
yeah,
you know,
wherever she is,
she couldn't possibly still be feeding info into here if she was the one, even if she was the one who started it, right?
Right. Yeah. So, all right. But yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
damn.
What? What?
What a strange memory. So a bit of gold. Yeah, so his memory is malleable here.
Right.
But it's more of like a nightmare. Fun.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh. He's just a tired little guy. He's just a little guy. Oh, getting educated.
Okay.
Yeah, that is double the initial amount, you know.
All right. I was struggling to stay awake.
Gotta love Gaoshin's just Jotaro ass. Just. Oh, where are we going?
Aww.
Oh, nice little detail.
Yeah.
Ah, survived the transition, yeah. Interesting.
Okay.
So the current emperor has been through there for the sake of tradition. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, there was only one.
Right.
Wait.
Oh.
Is that Lumen?
Yeah, I think so.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going into everybody's past today.
That's a lot.
Oh. Whoa.
Oh. Okay.
How convenient.
All right.
Ah, in the previous episode, he like visually focused on this. Yeah. Yes, yes. I am emperor.
Yeah.
He seems so happy.
Right.
The emperor seems like excited almost. Like there's gonna be like tricky puzzles and things.
Ooh.
Oh, it's logical puzzles. Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Yeah, and then it has to be maintained. Oh, up and down as well.
Fun. I wonder how long it'll take for them to loop back to where they've been before, you know?
Sure. Yeah, so another route. Wow.
真に転移を知ることはできないか。何をおっしゃいますやら。
おそらくこの老宦官は高級ができる前からずっとこの病を管理してきたのだろう。
Okay.
管理を続けるため虚勢して宦官になってまでここに。
That'd be fascinating. I would spend all day in there.
Oh, yeah.
何か別の意図があったのか。部屋の数、選んだ扉の色か。
きっとローメンならは。
Yeah, he was smart. Yeah.
確かに親父の知識はすごい。でもお前には無理だと。
Yeah.
You're like, damn it, now I want to do it.
Stays up all night to figure it out.
Wait.
3つの扉。
Wait, I've got it.
Income.
Wait, I've got it.
What?
Because it says don't open this color of door. That means like never open that color of door, maybe.
Well, that's what I was thinking, but...
そういえば建国の物語に登場するのは
Right.
王母だ。父親は出てこない。人子様。
Mm-hmm.
何か気づいたことが。
先帝のご兄弟は同服だったのでしょうか。
全員が同服ではないが、王子を産んだ母君たちは。
Oh.
代々帝位を継いだのは目の悪い方が多かったのではありませんか。
What?
あの病の中、もう一度通ることはできませんか。
娘さんはその資格があるというのか。まして妃でも姫でもないだろう。ならば妃に召し上げよう。
Eh?
羅漢の説得には骨が折れそうだ。
ご冗談を。
ご冗談を。
Yeah, he says it out loud.
Yeah.
ならばお前が連れて。
Oh! Ah!
それなら構わぬか。
Ah!
首相がそうおっしゃっ
Well, he loves the puzzle, clearly.
Right.
Like,
青。ここは帝が選ばれたものと同じ。
mm-hmm.
水色の扉を。
真の選んだ扉と違うな。
Interesting. But they're slightly different shades?
扉の色に
Right.
鍵があるはずだ。
Yes, they have a form of color blindness that basically transforms certain doors into certain colors.
Right.
汝、赤い扉を選べ。
Whoa.
赤い扉などないぞ。
Yeah.
緑の扉。
Nice.
Cool.
Because they're missing certain cones in their eyes. Whoa.
Oh, because the light's out there.
おめでとうございます。
Oh, that's cool.
誰もこの道を選ぶことができなかったときは、正しき道を選ぶ妃を連れて、再度この廟へやってきたと。それよりどういうことか、真にわかるように説明して。
Right.
建国の物語では王母は 暗闇も見通
Ah,
この病に選ばれし
Okay.
つまり王母の血を引く者は色の識別ができない目を持つと
gotcha.
なら青でも緑でも正解なはずですが王母の子は青を選ぶはずですなぜなら赤と緑の区別
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
この国では珍しいのですが裁縫には赤と緑の判別ができない
Yeah.
男性が10人に1人の割合でいたそうです
That's so cool.
わかるだろうね。
裁縫に留学していた親父なら
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was trying to give you a little bit of a hint, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
最後の扉も赤を通れとありながら赤い扉がありませんで白と紫の扉が確実に見分けられるなら残る扉が赤だと判断します
Nice.
Wow.
そして色の識別が困難な分読めが効くとも聞きますそれが王母の目の言い伝えの元ではないでしょうか
Fun how a simple, like, genetic defect ended up becoming, like, a thing that became legend.
新たな地に定住するのは容易なことではありませんそこで彼女はこの地の長と婚姻を結んだのです血が濃くなりすぎないようよそから来たものをめとるのは
Yeah.
Okay.
王母の血族はそのまま自分たちの血が薄れ途絶えるのを良しとしなかった王母の血を確実に後世に残す方法それがこの選択の
Nice.
奇跡
Right.
に陥ることができるのはそのためだ
Cool.
そうやって少しずつ国の中心
That's crazy, though.
やがて当時を知る者がいなくなれば残った物語が真実となる
Fantastic.
それは
That's
とても
that's great.
平和で気の長い乗っ取りだったわけだ
Mm-hmm.
まあ
Yeah, that's a whole...
確実な判別法としてこの病の存在があるだけです親にその傾向があっても子に
Right.
Yeah, again, 1 in 10, you know?
娘が本当に謎解きするとは思いませんでした。
小娘
Yeah, he's just throwing disses in there.
Yep.
この際血を薄めるのであればいっそこのようなものを取り込んでみては。
何を言っているのだ
胸周りが15センチほ
Oh my god!
Damn.
ど。しかしお気をつけください。
Unhinged.
心よく思わない連中も多いでしょう。分かっておるよ。主情は分かっておられますでしょう。お気をつけください。
Hmm. Interesting.
帝のお気に入りの宦官それだけで済ませるには何か誰だっていいか
Best not to speculate.
Yep.
All right, we got some lore. We've
we
got
did.
some big Jinshi and the Emperor stuff here.
Oh yeah, and it was great.
Wow.
But are we just gonna brush past the? I mean, I guess Jinshi, if you take her as a concubine, then we can go inside. Sure, whatever. They go inside. Are we gonna talk about that?
Are we just gonna let that slide?
What's that mean exactly? Like,
Yeah, that's you know, from the functional perspective, he's bringing her in as a concubine
Right.
to, you know, go
Yeah.
through this here. Which I will say, from a certain point of view, then Jinshi is now a valid heir to be the emperor because you know he successfully went through this whole process by Mao Mao doing the part 4, you know, because that was his concubine,
Right.
and that went through there.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
succeeded with it, and thus she did the part of the concubines in
Yep.
you know prior stuff here. But the revelation that just this strain of colorblindness would only have come from outside the nation and therefore been a part of her bloodline.
yeah.
To then be the means by which they would insert their family to have the gifted eye, basically.
Right.
To then
Yeah.
basically take over the emperor's, like the previous emperor's bloodline here, is kind of crazy. Like, it's kind of genius. But it's also the kind of thing where you go, wait, oh, that's not sinister, but that's kind of suspect to then have a building built this way specifically
Right.
to go through with this.
It's
and
insidious.
design it entirely to designed it entirely to these specifications for this purpose.
And yet, the country probably didn't particularly care, right? Like the most that,
Well, they never knew. They never did care. Why would they care?
No, right. But the idea that yes, you're infiltrating the country in the most literal of aspects, right? But also in a lot of ways, it's more of just a way to guarantee your predecessor's station, right?
Right.
It's just all right, you will end up having that extra little leg up on most other people because you'll be able to solve the puzzle, right? And
right, rather than just having it be whoever's the eldest
exactly,
child
right.
of this pairing.
Yep. Or if you have a situation where then the ruler of the nation is going to sleep with tons of people, right? And so then cool, you married into royalty, fantastic, right? But if
We're not even married; these are just concubines.
sure, yeah. Right,
He doesn't care about
you
who-
got in bed with royalty, right?
Right.
But that's only gonna basically give security for 1 or 2 generations at most, right? So doing this.
Yeah, I think what we're getting at here is the theme specifically that the women in this story have basically a lot of power and agency, and specifically through where they position their kids, they end up getting even more. And given that the 4 kind of lead side characters here are the 4, head concubines, that feels apropos that we're bringing this kind of stuff up. But yeah, otherwise, really fascinating lore to understand how, in a lot of ways, a lot of the countries that have leading royal families or what have you that go, way back, are actually, no, those are actually originally, if you're talking about England, for instance, their royal bloodline comes from the Normans. Has nothing to do with actually the English.
Oh, sure.
It's kind of a fun little thing there.
It goes back to the point where then someone hit the right person really hard with a big stick, and then there you go.
But this is rarer, though. The idea that that's you're right, and that's the common way that it's done. But this was bloodless. This had no actual violence coming in.
Yep.
It was subterfuge. It was manipulation and kind of smoke and mirrors. There was a lot of cleverness involved here. And so while Jinshi's little flashback thing was something that kind of left me with more questions than answers.
Right.
I feel like this is a very clear example of, hey, we had a person who was very intelligent, who was brought into a place that she didn't fully understand, had to kind of make do with what she did, ended up getting connected with a very powerful royal. Wait, that sounds like someone that we know. So it's almost like,
Right, it's
funny.
thematically relevant.
History, it rhymes.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like with the general style of this show, right?
Yeah.
The one-off episodes and little stories that we get will be cute and self-contained on the surface, and then there will be that undertone or direct plot machination or whatever that then connects it to all the other things, right?
Right.
And because this is a history story, not a lot to directly tie in the traditional sense, but thematically, absolutely, because, of the parallel that's there for Mao Mao. And then also now, because we know about the traditions of this country a bit more, Mao Mao, you theoretically might have just casually been put into a very important station,
Right.
So there's that.
Which is fun to just think all the way back to Lumen's kind of way in which he's been so tied to the Rear Palace by one being an old eunuch from this area and being kind of the legendary, smartest man basically of the palace, the great doctor or what have you that had to fall from grace due to just circumstances outside of his control or what have you.
Yep.
Surrounding Jinshi's birth and all the
All
switching
that,
and everything, all that chaos and stuff. To then have his adopted daughter then be brought back here forcefully against her will,
Yep.
and then have her succeed so dramatically in here. He's got to be like, the universe is a funny thing.
Yeah, exactly.
This is I guess we'll just see how this goes.
Stay in school, kids. You never know when you'll get whisked away to some rear palace and end up, dining with the royalty because, you remembered what your parents taught you.
I mean, hey, there's something to be said. Like, if you've got a family business, basically, like a family skill, a family something
Sure.
that's been taught really well, and thus your parent has mastered it, that makes then your potential mastery or proficiency with that thing much easier.
Yes.
And the ability to then take, what you can or necessarily even want from it is really nice, because you're going to get that base level of proficiency much faster than they ever did.
Oh, yeah.
Just most likely, obviously, like, everyone's got different preferences and talents and types
Sure,
of ways in
inclinations
which
and
they
all that,
learn
yeah.
and all that stuff. But it's really fascinating to see that Mao Mao's did come from a place of passion now. It's
Yeah.
taking her all the way into the secret choosing shrine of the
Right.
Emperor's heirs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's just like getting joked about with by these, older or more powerful men like the Emperor, being like, well, if she had 6 inches of boob more, then maybe,
yeah.
maybe I'd throw her into the mix here. But as such, I have no interest.
Jinchi?
Jinchi, though. you prefer this type, don't you? And he's just like,
it's
oh, for fuck's
it's
sake,
just Kermit
bro,
slowly turning and looking at the camera. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But the stuff that we got with Jinshi this episode really was fun. The dream that was all kinds of like trippy and creepy and given how much like complicated stuff we have with Jinshi's just existence, I'm very curious how that dream is going to be followed up on, because that felt like you were saying, like more questions than answers. Like that's the beginning of a new layer of the onion that we're going to get at.
Well, so what could be fun here is that if this is a direct plot setup thing, then that you could have some aspect of where the Mother Royal in the legend has some similarities to what the grandmother of Jinshi in the dream was doing, potentially.
Sure.
Given that we know that Aduo is Jinshi's mother, it's kind of irrelevant who his father was, because it's just, like a guy, basically.
Well, the father would be the previous emperor.
The previous emperor?
Yeah, right? Because the current emperor is his older brother, and
Right.
yeah, and that person's dad would be the previous emperor.
Well, right,
so-
but I guess the thing of like, was he suffering from some kind of dementia or something? Because the way she was almost like, no, I'm in charge here. You're just a guy that needs to sit in his room.
Right, exactly.
But that feels like if he was the emperor, he would be treated that way.
Well, and it's like the idea of like
I get what you're
right,
going
like
for
the
there.
grandmother, then that's probably then the previous emperor's mother, right?
Right.
But that's still something where it's, and so I could see a situation where maybe the mother is like, no, this stuff needs to happen. But the previous emperor there was not like young,
No.
right? This wasn't sending Joffrey to his room, right? Like this was
an
like
old man,
an old man,
which means the mom would be even
older, yeah.
Even if this was one of those sketch situations where it's like, wait, how old was she when she had the emperor?
Yeah,
my God.
Right. Like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
And the fact that we then, in this episode after that, established the idea of genetic complications, right? I would not be surprised if, like, the immediate thing that comes to mind is some kind of medical issue, right?
Well, that's what I was saying. He has dementia of some kind.
Yeah. But, then if that's also used as the then excuse for someone else to be able to, effectively take power to an extent, who knows? But
Okay.
Yeah.
But all right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon and get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. Also, be sure to check out our Twitch channel. See if anything that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.